Hey guys, Vesper Sarwolf here with another video. So today I'm going to be talking about a topic that I'm really passionate about, and that is fan fiction. So I'm sure everyone's here has heard of it in some light, but fan fiction is basically when you take someone else's original property, so a piece of media, like a show or a book you really like, and you write a story based off of that, using the characters from that, or like the universe, and like make your own little story. I feel like fan fiction gets a really bad rep, kind of like, oh, this book is so bad it reads like a fanfic, or there's a lot of jokes about bad fan fiction. We all know 50 Shades of Grey was a Twilight fanfic, and that book is terrible. I said what I said. But honestly, I've read some amazing fan fiction that is light years better than 50 Shades of Grey and After. I've never read After, but and all those other books. I just feel like they publish like the worst ones, and then fan fiction gets an even worse rep. As a writer, I actually got my start in fan fiction. Like when I was in my teens, I started to write Wolf's Rain fan fiction, and I admit it was bad. Like, it was terrible. But I kept at it, and I kept writing fan fiction, and eventually, like by the end of the fanfic, my writing was so much better than when I first started. So I personally love fan fiction, not only for like expanding upon stories and characters that I already love, but because I feel like it's a great way for beginner writers, or even already experienced writers, to practice and kind of cultivate their craft. If it wasn't for fan fiction, I don't think I would have gotten better enough at writing to feel comfortable enough to write my original works. And honestly, I just want to say, I feel like as a creator, if someone wrote fan fiction of a book I had written, then that's just like, that's how you know. That's how you know you've made it. Like, I just feel like that's the greatest honor, is someone loving something you made so much that they took time out of their day to make a fan art or to write you a whole story based off of how they feel about your works. And it's just an amazing thing how people can be so creative, because I feel like fan fiction also gets like the, oh, you're not original, you can't come up with your own stories, but that's not it at all. It's the fact that people love something so much that they want to expand upon it, or they had an idea of something else they wanted the characters they love to go through, and it's just really an amazing thing. So fan fiction does have the reputation of being bad or terrible, and I have seen a couple posts and theories of why that might be so specific. I mean, one being a lot of younger writers do start out with fan fiction, so, you know, they're not going to be amazing from the get-go. Like I said, myself started out with fan fiction, and now I'm here. Another one is that fan fiction, you know, sometimes nothing happens. With books, you have to have, like, the starting action, the rising action, and the conclusion, yada yada. But fan fiction is different, because the plot of a fanfic could just be, these two characters like each other, they're going to smooch, and that's it. Which, with writing, that doesn't always fly. Even though sometimes I would just love to write about my characters smooching all the time. Unfortunately, I have a bigger plot I have to work on. Another one that I realize is probably pretty solid of a theory as to why fanfiction gets a bad rep is that when you write a fanfic, you're writing towards people who probably already know what you're talking about. You hardly explain anything that's going on if it's like takes place in the same universe of the media you're writing about, because in a book you need to explain things and have things kind of slowly weave their way in so your readers kind of learn with the story. But in a fanfic, your readers probably already know who's who and what's going on, which is fine. But if an outsider comes in to read the fanfic, unless they have previous knowledge of that piece of media, they won't know anything that's going on, and it's highly likely that they will not have anything explained to them. Like, I remember in high school, my friend got this printout of a Naruto fanfic from another friend, and she's like, here, read this, it's an amazing fanfic, it's so well written. However, I had never seen Naruto at that point. I still haven't really seen it, it's not my cup of tea, but if you like it, that's fine. So I just had this huge printout of a fanfic, and I didn't even touch it because I'm like, I've never seen Naruto. And they kept saying like, oh, well, that's fine, but it's still a really good fanfic. But it's like, I don't know anything about it, and it just doesn't interest me to read a fanfic for a fandom I'm not a part of. So that is a thing. Like, another example, right now, I'm working on a Obey Me fanfic. It's gonna be like a huge, slow burn, long fic, which means it's slow, and it's going to be a lot of chapters, I think around 30, which is massive for a fanfic. Obey Me is a otome, like, dating sim game, and my fanfic follows the first season of the app. You know, people who play the game know the main plot, that the main character is being sent to the Devildom, which is hell, for an exchange program to reunite the realms. I might mention this in passing in my fanfic, but I won't go into a lot of detail about it like you would in an original story, because I assume everyone that's reading the fanfic knows about, like, these major plot points. So I don't want to bore them with these details that they already know. Yeah, that being said, like, even though I write original stories now and I hope to be a published author soon, I'm still writing fan fiction because it's just a great way to write without having like a high stakes. With my original stories, you know, I have to read them. I have many drafts of them because I want them to be as perfect as they can be. But with fan fiction, it doesn't have that higher standard, and I can just have fun with it. I can just write it. I'll look over it maybe once or twice to get rid of like misspelled words or poor grammar, and then I'll just post it to Archive of Our Own and be done with it. And it's fun, and unlike an original book, you get an immediate like feedback from people that read it. And you know, I think if you're interested in fan fiction, you should give it a try. Especially if you kind of want to improve your writing. It's just a fun, easygoing way to do so. So yeah, I think that's it for this video. If you write fan fiction or books or whatever, tell me in the comments. I love to talk about people's stories. It's really fun. But anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!